Nuance with Nikki, the nitty gritty, even if it's shitty. Let's look at just a few key things all over the internet, ranging from ridiculous to serious. I am genuinely asking questions here, guys. If you want to engage with South Africans and go, hey guys, South Africa, maybe there's something you're not seeing. We see you guys as xenophobes. Here's the place to do it. But I will ask everybody, if we are to do this, can we just keep it respectful? Okay, so my positionality still is that South Africa is being caricatured. That's my positionality as someone who has, we'll get into it later. But let's watch this girl. I mean, we all love her, right? I absolutely adore her. She used to come up on my Facebook feed all the time. Yes, I'm Facebook years old. Let's watch this and let's enjoy it for a second, because we all love what she does for Africa, right? Charity Ekezi. I've actually never checked out her name. It's always her face that I recognize. Okay, we adore her. We all do. And she's spot on. But let's watch.
My fellow Nigerians, my name is Vulindlela, and I am daughter of the soil. Excuse me. Vulindlela is not a Nigerian name. Oh. I don't know where you... What do you mean? Oh, anybody can name their children anything. A name is just a name. Okay, continue. Now back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. I am here to call on all of us to come together and fight the enemies amongst us in Nigeria. Excuse me once again. Sorry, don't be angry. Sorry. That is it again. So I just wanted to ask, where did you get your accent from? Because that doesn't sound Nigerian to me. And you said you're Nigerian. That's not how we talk over here. And I don't know, did you not learn? Were you just trying to hiss? I'm done. No.
Right, so Charity, as usual, kicking ass, taking names, speaking to ridiculous Western notions there, speaking, to the idea that Hollywood loves coming to Africa, making money of us, but never giving us the respect they'd give each other, like the UK and the US give each other a lot of respect, even Australia, when they make movies about each other, and they could all do better. I actually do want to do a video about that one day. I've been planning it for a while. But now, let's dissect the joke. Let's get nerdy about it, okay? Listen.
So come back now. You just need to learn the accent a bit. I can teach you. My fellow Nigerians, my name is Vulindlela, and I am daughter of the soil. Excuse me. Vulindlela is not a Nigerian name. Oh.
I love it. You know why I love it? Because Vulindlela is not technically a South African name either. It's a South African saying, Vulindlela, open the road. Open the road so that I can have my wedding. It's a famous song. If you're not familiar with the frame of reference, let me actually get it for you, okay? Okay, this is the legendary Brenda Frantz. She is our Tina Turner, our Diana Ross. She is the South African star. Absolutely legendary, the late great, and this is one of her most famous songs. Okay, a gorgeous classic South African song. They're loved by people across the country. Doesn't matter what race, what culture. Love from Cape to Cairo. If you are African, you grew up adoring the song, I believe, right? Which is why it was in the frame of reference of Charity there earlier, right? And so, just as just some cultural education here, she's singing to her neighbors saying, hey, open the road, my son's gonna get married. She said he was never gonna get married. He found himself a cute girl, she's looking like a snack, and we're about to have a wedding. And then the whole township just gets along dancing, okay? So that's the frame of reference for Vulindlela. Absolutely gorgeous song there. Everybody watching this video wants me to stop and just play it, right? But look at it again. A Zulu / Xhosa as well, frame of reference, because it's an Nguni language.
Is Vulindlela, and I am daughter of the soil. Excuse me. Vulindlela is not a Nigerian name. Oh.
Okay, let's just key in here, guys. It has 10,000 likes. 10,000 people get the joke. That means that 10,000 people understand that you can recognize a Zulu name from a Nigerian one, right? Even if they didn't know it wasn't a name, I as a South African had to tell you it's just an instruction. Open the door, right? But the point is, it is such a recognizably Zulu thing that even if you're in Nigeria, you know that it ain't no Nigerian name. And you would be offended if someone represented you in Nigeria as a Zulu. Interesting conversation we've been having here recently. Is it not the case that South Africans were going, hang on a second, that is not a Zulu name? Am I clear? I just want to understand. Are you saying that you understand why that would be disrespectful for someone to come and represent you as? Are you guys saying that? I love charity. I just come. Ma'am, I want to learn about how xenophobic I am. But please, I want to understand, why is it you understand in this context, even in the context of a joke that 10,000 people got, ne? That Vulindlela is not a Nigerian name. I want to thank Charity for this one. I want to thank her.
I don't know what do you mean? Oh, excuse me. Vulindlela is not a Nigerian name. Oh.
And you understand that you might have nothing against Vulindlela, but that it's not an accurate representation of you. You get it, right? You called a certain person Miss France. You called a certain person Miss France earlier, right? And you caricatured us and made us fools for recognizing a Boere surname. Boere, which is an important culture here in our country. You're able to understand, though, that this is Miss France. Miss France is gorgeous. Able to understand that, right? Even able to understand over here that this could be Miss France. She's absolutely
Miss Grand France.
Miss Grand France, gorgeous. You're able to understand that nationality is not the same as skin color. When we watch immigration stuff, no UK person over here would dare question, nobody would dare question whether or not this one immigration officer is from the UK, because you understand the difference between nationality and skin color. Where is he? Where is he? Nobody goes and dissects the UK. Nobody goes and questions them, you know, and has the same argument, you know, he's deporting a Ukrainian girl. They really did try and help her. Go and watch the story to get all the nuances in. But nobody would dare go, how dare he ask a European why she needs to leave European land, because they understand nationality. They're clear on that, right? Why is it also that when it's time to lambast South Africans, I'm honestly asking questions here. Why is it that when it's time to lambast South Africans, when South Africans have truly done what's wrong? By the way, go into any comic section of any place where South African has gone to a foreign country and done crime, you will see all the comments from South Africans lambasting that person. Okay? So here, our cops were wrong. Okay? I'm admitting it.
In Cape Town. So the stage is such, South African police officers have been arrested for robbing a Nigerian rapper.
Okay. Yep. South African police officers. We are trying to speak out against all kinds of corruption here too. But you referred to them as South African. When it was time to lambast them in this one isolated incident, why were you able to recognize that everybody there is South African? Why was that not outside of your conceptual scheme? No, make it clear. Make it clear. You know, I do not want to make light of this crime. This is a frightening reality. You know? But a lot of the stuff...
In Cape Town. So these four South African
police... A lot of the stuff that you find, that people say it's South Africans, this, that, and the other thing, it often isn't. I found some ridiculous stuff. I want to do a video about that later. But the question here is, why are you able to recognize that they're South African now? Why? When they're bad. Okay? I could go on and on, but as I say, South Africans, we criticize our own when it's time to be critical. Okay, this woman has very good intentions. Her aim is to work against xenophobia. Let's listen to what she says, and then I'm going to ask some questions. We are asking questions. Okay, so ma'am, number one, I want to understand why you're color neutral when it's another country, but every time it's my country, you want to get involved in color. Right? I want to understand why when you're color neutral, when you're able to lambast us. And now, based on the studies about the alleged xenophobia in South Africa, let's hear it from a South African mouth.
done on a national level, that what you're saying is not true. From whether we're talking about hospitals with what happened with the MEC of Health in Limpopo, that shows that this infiltration that we're talking about is not true. The numbers do not reflect the sentiment, the xenophobic sentiment.
So she's willing to see her country as xenophobic, and she says there are studies that have been done. Okay?
The view that that's not the case.
When we look at the evidence that's out there, my name is Sponsor. I'm representing Soul City Institute for Social Justice. There's a lot of evidence that's out there that shows studies that have been done on a national level.
Thank you, Ponzo, and I can see your sincerity. I'm asking you this question sincerely. You are questioning the character and the veracity and the perception of South Africans. There's now been conflicting data, and it's in video format, verifying case after case after case of what South Africans have said. You're claiming that there is data. May I, by that same token, question the veracity of your studies, ma'am? Because here's the thing. How accurate can the data be in a country where we are admitting that there is border fraud crime and that our officials are corrupt? We're saying it. Our conversation with illegal immigrants is don't keep funding it. Our conversation with them is stop doing it. We're fighting a battle on both fronts. So if someone's not documented and we don't have his fingerprints, how do you know that it wasn't him doing the crime? When you have witness, why is South African witness testimony not credible? Millions of South Africans, millions, just suddenly being wrong. I'm not saying that we're all morally perfect. I've just admitted that we aren't, so give me credit for that, right? Millions of South Africans saying this are all liars, right? Only your data is legitimate, not the data that we've actually seen in videos. Data that has incomplete information to it. Our whole point of saying be documented, it's been said by TikTokers, is fingerprints, photographs. Witness statements are saying, I saw a Zimbabwean do it, I saw a Nigerian do it, I saw this person do it, I saw a South African do it. Okay? That's inconsistent with your data. We already know that a lot of things can be compromised in this country. And if someone's not documented, how? How? We have conflicting data. We can back it up. On what basis can you sit and question your whole country's character? I can see your intention is good. Please understand that mine is good too. I got into this rabbit hole, starting out a video which I've never published. I started out, I think I've deleted it now, but it's in my recyclable. But if anybody wants to see receipts, I'm sure I can retrieve it. I started out wanting to stand up for Chidima, and I said, look, this is what I think's happening. However, I want to show you the other side. And I was just doing the video live. It's one of those unplanned ones, and I was newer at those ones. And I sat and watched crime after crime after crime after crime after crime. And by the time I got to those Krugersdorp girls, the 8 girls with the 60 minors, I said, I can't do this. I can't be lambasting the townships anymore as simply being xenophobic. I remembered a lot of what happened to me in Hillbrow. I remember watching my home deteriorate. So I'll say it plainly. Because Hillbrow was the grey area. Because it was the Rainbow Nation before the Rainbow Nation existed. The apartheid government stopped funding it. The deterioration starts happening there. Then ANC being ANC, we're ANC bitches, realized they could make more money off of Hillbrow by keeping it a criminal city. So they have allowed it to deteriorate exponentially more than apartheid did. They failed absolutely way worse than the apartheid government ever did in that area. But illegal immigration is what made it very unsafe for me to walk on those streets. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Now, are you going to believe my data? I don't have a piece of paper to prove this to you. This is just known stuff in the streets. That it was Nigerian drug lords and Nigerian pimps there. It was a known thing in the street that how they categorized the prostitutes at the time. The most expensive was an Asian. Second most was a white prostitute. Third most a colored one. Fourth most a a black one. That is how they priced it. This is known street stuff. I didn't know to do studies when I was 11 and I was still learning the word prostitution. But as this influx happened, how was I perceived? I had to learn grown-up awareness to keep myself safe on those streets, keep myself safe just trying to buy milk and bread, like millions of girls on the streets of Hillbrow. Will you believe our witness testimony? When I say my mom wasn't listening to me, it's not the same streets anymore. Just to go buy milk and bread, being grabbed in ways a little girl should never be grabbed. And knowing who to avoid. Knowing who to avoid. If you don't believe me, anybody of any race, if you believe that I'm xenophobic, kindly send your 10 to 15-year-old daughter right now into Hillbrow to go buy bread and milk, please. No, go to Yeovil now. Send your 10 to 15-year-old daughter to Yeovil now to go buy bread and milk. Prove me wrong. You can have a camera on her and see exactly who you're suspicious of and not. Prove me wrong. Okay? There are wonderful Nigerian people out there. We're asking for those. We're saying that in South Africa, we're not getting the best. There are amazing Zimbabwean people. I am also here because I had a friend that was homeless, that faced police brutality from our police. Are you going to believe me, or am I just a raging xenophobe? And that I could do nothing to help him even when I tried and tried and tried. He was collateral damage in the system of corruption. So to dismiss me as a raging xenophobe, you're contributing to that culture as well. Go try now. Just try and report to the police now. Pick up your phone and go and report to the police. Then an illegal immigrant was beaten up by the police. Go. Just as an exercise. We want the safety for all concerned. We want to know how people's bodies are going to get back to their family if they do face these crimes. We want to know how people are going to get held accountable if we have no photograph of them, no proof of residence, no ID number. If they get kidnapped, if they do anything, we need documentation so that the studies can be more accurate. Okay, I want to understand how all of this is supposed to work out logically. I want to understand. Did I have more to say? Okay, let's just leave it on a lighter note now. So is every South African a raging xenophobe? And are they just stereotyping people? Or are you guys the ones stereotyping the ones saying and holding people accountable? And are you guys contributing to a culture where those people can actually just lay the facts bare and address the issues? Or are you just going to contribute to the culture of silence? So let's end on a lighter note and tell me once again, am I wrong? Is it understandable here that there's a difference between a Zulu name and a Nigerian name? Is it? In order to get this punchline, is it? Let's enjoy the joke for the last time.
My fellow Nigerians, my name is Vulindlela, and I am daughter of the soil. Excuse me. Vulindlela is not a Nigerian name. Oh, I don't know where you... What do you mean? Oh, anybody can name their children anything. A name is just a name. Okay, oh, continue. Now, back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. I am here to call on all of us to come together and fight the enemies amongst us in Nigeria. Excuse me once again. Sorry, don't be angry. Sorry. That is it again. So I just wanted to ask, where did you get your accent from? Because that doesn't sound Nigerian.
So the comment over here, thank you for reminding them of our Nigerian accent. I can't imagine a Nigerian sounding like a Namibian. All right. It doesn't sound like a Namibian to me, but it does show that you know how this feels. I like this comment. Some people don't want to be told they don't know what they're talking about, especially when they're trying to pretend to be something they're not. Sorry, but what you guys are trying to pretend to be is the people with the moral high ground. Can we just start having adult conversations around the situation, please? Nuance with Nikki.